Today we're dealing with Venus, it's feminine planet, planet of love and beauty, just commonly known. It's interesting that it's one of the most gaseous planets, but the atmosphere in Venus is sulfuric acid. So if you're thinking of facelift, you go to Venus. But these are different pictures of Venus with different pictures. One just shows the clouds. The other is showing it's a pinkish one, showing it as a crescent, which we often see. The other is a much more magnified one that's taken more recently with some of the more intense telescopes, and it got through to get the actual surface of it. Let's see if we can get this one up bigger for a second. Yeah, so these are some of the first visual graphics that's showing the surface, the mountains, what's under there. Anytime I probably came from the ship that they sent, but I mean, they sent a ship there and it just landed and within a few minutes, I don't even think they last a minute inside the sulfuric acid environment, and it just boom goes. So it's been this last picture here, this one. It's a picture of the sun, but you see Venus crossing over in front of the sun. It's being occulted. The sun is being occulted, so you see the shadow of Venus, the backside of Venus facing the sun as it comes in front of the sun, and so you see the approximate size of Venus to the sun. Earth is not too; it's just a little bit bigger, but almost about the same, almost the same, just a small dot. Okay, so let's, and there we go. Okay, and the symbol we're familiar with. So, okay, Venus is it's called the feminine planet, but well, Venus, we think of feminine, but it's called feminine because it's not easy to define. It represents qualities you can't explain in just a sentence or a word. They're like the moon with feelings. Moons of feelings are memories. You can't draw an edge exactly on what that is. With Venus, we know it as the goddess of love and beauty. So that's the main popular factor, but it goes much further than that. But even if we just work within that realm of those concepts, how do you relate to beauty? How beautiful do you think you are? What are you prepared to do for beauty? How far do you chase it? What do you want? You know, it's like, so love too. How valuable is love? How much do you want? What do you, like, all of these things. What happens when you have it and when you don't have it? Wow. These are the puzzles of Venus. So you can say love, beauty, these are like the virtues, but vanity, lust, envy, these are like the vices. So there's good and a bad side, or light and a dark side to each planet. So some of the keywords for Venus are like charm. It's like how you get what you want. It's desire, lust. I want this. I gotta have this. I want to buy this. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Get. That. How do I attract things? How do I get things? That's Venus. So, principle of attracting things. The laws of attraction. You know, you visualize properly, you'll get this money. You'll visualize it. These are all Venusian beliefs or processes. But usually, for the light side, how many people express their Venus really positively? How many people are caught in a grosser or lower form of Venus? So where you have the attraction, you have the repulsion. I hate you, and then you love the person. I love you, I hate you. You know, I want you, get lost, I don't want you. I like this, I can't stand this anymore. You know, if some people, by the time they've had 5 or 10 chocolate bars or 20 chocolate bars, they won't touch a chocolate bar for another month. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of other people who have the 10 chocolate bars and want another 10 and another 10, and there's no end to wanting it. They get caught in the sweetness, in the beauty and the sweetness where I got to have these things. So Venus can get very insidious when it ties into appetites and the moon. Like when it ties into different planets, as you start seeing, it puts its desires like a little sister saying, get me this, go get this, I want this. But it's telling you, I got to have this, I want this, or I'll never get this. If I'm never going to get this, why bother? So attracting, being repulsed, getting things, not getting things. Boy, being rejected, not having the person you sleep with someone, you know, you go out of your way, you put all the effort in, you make sure they're satisfied. And then they fall asleep and don't take care of you. It's impossible to wake up the next morning and be cheerful and charming because it wasn't reciprocal. You know, so we have what we do for love, that's Mars. What we want, what we like, what we desire, not even just for love, for anything. I like this, I want this, I gotta have this, this is the best thing, these are the best name shirts, this is the best, advertising, buying things, it's all Venus. What did you want it? You gotta have this, this is the most best thing to want. But on a social level, this is the best person, this is the best looking person in the school, everybody wants them. Or, so it gets to be vanity. I'm the best looking person. I get what I want. You know, like this element of beauty and ugliness. You know, it's like, it's a pecking order. It's a strange pecking order when you attract someone. If you start relationships, they have this. If you meet someone and they're better looking than you, you're going to feel you're stepping up and you're going to have to do a little bit more to take care to have this. If you're going to feel you have to step up, but if you meet someone who's not quite as good looking as you, it doesn't matter to you, you're with them, whatever, you still step down a bit. You expect to be treated better. So if you meet someone that's not as good looking, they'll treat you better. If you meet someone that's older and you're a younger person, they're going to treat you better, or they're going to have money, or they're going to have some trade-off that makes up for that difference. And this pecking order, it's insidious, but it's there. I mean, it's there in all animals too, like gold, you know, angelfish, they have the patterns on them. And there's all kinds of angelfish with all kinds of patterns. But an angelfish will only mate with another fish that has exactly the same pattern. It won't mate with any of the others. So it's like, what's our common level? Are we trying to be envious and trying to improve our level and get more of what we want? Are we content with what we have? We don't have to get what we want. And as long as we're struggling to get what we want, or struggling to deal with what we've attracted or what we don't want, it's disturbing our mind. It's like Venus is acting up, and it's like a kid screaming and have a temper tantrum in your family. The other things can't function as clearly when you're not content, when you're not happy. We don't see beauty when you're not content. Yeah, content. So we see it very dramatically. I'm using dramatic examples of relationships, appearances, attractions, but it's also who gets satisfied and who doesn't. If you make love to someone and one person gets satisfied, the other person doesn't, or one person likes it and the other person doesn't, this is a big problem. How do you change your style? How do you change your manner? Can you? Some people can, some people can't, but our style of performance, our style of what turns us on, what we like, what's going to satisfy, what we want. We make choices. We choose things because this is better than this. I like this better than that. I like that better than this. This is Venus. Wait, thousands of choices in a day. How we're going to comb our hair? I don't have that choice right now. A month ago, I had that choice. I had to comb my hair. Now I don't have. I made the other choice. I don't have to comb my hair now. Okay, so that it just. I've done this a long time. Not a big deal, but it's how we comb our hair, the clothes we wear, which shirt, which pair of pants we're going to wear, how we're going to wear, what we're going to do, whether we go smiling or not smiling, all of this stuff, what we're going to bring with us, how are we going to, when we go out the door, how are we going to attract the things that we want. At any moment, this process of evaluation is going on. So I think I would give Venus the quality of values or evaluation, the process of evaluation. How we evaluate, how we choose, how we measure what's good, what's not, what's content, what's not, what's good enough, what am I worth, what am I not worth. So it's values, it's magnetism is another really good word for Venus. Like it's magnetism, it's never indifferent. You're attracted or you're repulsed. You're drawn to something, I want something. If it's a neighbor's wife or husband, oh my goodness, you're in trouble because you got a bad one. If it's drugs, if it's alcohol, I mean, drugs and alcohol are Venus problems. Wanting something too much, can't doing without something. I have to have this, and it gets anchored into habits and into the moon. It becomes very difficult to overcome our desires. It's a spiritual path to overcome desires. Like there's two main branches of spiritual development. One is to control the breath so you're not thinking and you can be peaceful without thinking, because the thinking disturbs the inner peace. The second one is to become dispassionate and not be pulled by your likes and dislikes, so you could be at peace and not just be projecting and seeing what you want to see. I'm married 3 times. I thought I knew my wives. I saw what I wanted to see, not necessarily who they are. I thought I knew them. I thought this is what I want, this is who you are. But really, looking back, a lot of that was my projection and it didn't end up being real. Whose fault? That's a whole nother story. But we attach blames, guilt, sorrows, even though the sun's our confidence, our self-worth. If our self-worth is down, it's hard to be confident. If our self-worth is up too much, boy, we can become almost arrogant. So Venus, you see Venus as your principle of charm. If you like something, you meet someone, you smile. Do you like me? You like someone, you're smiling at them. It's easy to know if someone wants to be with you. They're smiling at you. They're nice to you, But it's difficult when someone wants you and doesn't, or someone doesn't want you and then does, and mixed signals come in, and nobody has this all totally figured out. Some men more than others. So in a certain way, our style in life of what we dress, how we go on, things we have around us, how people see us and whether they admire us or want us, this is all part of Venus. Aren't I wonderful? So it's a puzzle, but it's a very fickle puzzle.